Du hast die Wahl. Wähle jetzt, wen du willst, als neuen Bürgermeister. Und wir wählen Edward für Fortschritt. Kein Rückschritt.
Well, that's taken care of. Thankfully, the Angel isn't a polling place, so we can still have a nice quiet evening.
Jetzt hatte ich gerade das Gefühl, dass er uns wieder einreden will, wir sollen hier bleiben. Ob er uns vielleicht doch eher was Schlechtes einredet, aber das glaube ich ist nicht so. In den letzten Folgen hat er uns immer endlich gute Ratschläge gegeben und uns auch gesagt, dass wir Eddie nicht belügen sollen. Sag mal, und der geht jetzt, also er pennt jetzt hier lieber sein Leben lang auf dem Sofa, im Sessel, und sich nicht zu entschuldigen und seiner Frau alles zu erzählen. Ich kann das nicht glauben. Der ist, also, what?
My head is pounding. Damn withdrawal.
Aha. Ist er jetzt also schon so addicted hier?
Actually, I think someone's knocking at the door.
Oh, right.
Schnell einen Schluck getrunken hier. Es ist nur ACE-Saft. Bleibt alle ruhig.
Mostly cookbooks. Yeah, at least you won't have to worry about starving while you're staying here. Should have listened to your mother. You should have practiced. Looks like that umbrella's gotten some good use. It was quite the rainstorm we had yesterday.
So, Hard Leroy ist auf Siegestour. So, der hat sich durchgesetzt. Okay. Der Justice Killer schlägt erneut zu. Das neueste Opfer des Serienmörders ist Burley Cause aus Schmondley, glaube ich, wird das ausgesprochen. Wurde erschossen in seiner Wohnung. Sein Nachbarin Ethan Williamson meldete eine Auseinandersetzung, bei der ein Schuss gefallen sein sollte. Als die Polizei den Tatort erreichte, fand sie Cause und das Wort Justice, das mit Blut an die Wand geschrieben war. Aufgrund neuer Informationen wissen wir inzwischen, dass alle Mordopfer in Schomley in der gleichen Situation vorgefunden wurden, was den Aussagen der Polizei widerspricht, dass die Morde nichts miteinander zu tun haben. Aufgrund des Zustandes des Tatorts ist der Täter auch unter dem Namen Justice Killer bekannt. Zur Drucklegung der Zeitung ist noch keine Gemeinsamkeit der Opfer bekannt. Die Berichterstattung wird fortgesetzt, sowie weitere Details zum Vorschein kommen. So, die Sammelklage ist da.
What a handsome couple. Judging by the uncanny resemblance, I'd say these are Upton's parents.
Gut.
Therein lies Upton's boudoir. As a matter of respect, the less said the better, I think.
Well.
Good afternoon, miss. If you're looking for Miss Upton, I'm afraid she's not in right now.
No, I've already spoken with Miss Upton. I'm looking for Mr. Miles Fordham.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm Miles Fordham. What can I do for you, Miss...
Mrs. Emily Morgan. I have a problem, you see. Miss Upton said you'd be able to help.
I suppose you'd better come in. So, what seems to be the trouble?
It's my brother, Ronan Lespay. He was murdered 4 nights ago outside a tavern in the Chum.
Oh.
On election night?
Yes, I suppose it was.
Could you please tell me what happened?
The police took his body to the mortuary and investigated the crime scene, but they're out of ideas. I've been down there at the station every day, but they don't seem to care enough to look into it any further. All they've been able to determine was that it wasn't a robbery, and that the clothes he was wearing weren't his. My brother was a good man, Mr. Fordham. He would never have willingly gone to that part of town. I need to know why he was murdered, and I want whoever did it to pay for it.
Very well, Mrs. Morgan. I'll take your case.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Fordham.
I just need to know where your brother was killed, and where I might be able to contact you.
He was found outside the Silent Raven. It's on Alewife Avenue, on the west side of the Chum. Here, take this. It's a photo of Ronan. It might help your investigation. And if you need to speak with me, you can come to my husband's bakery. It's here in Worcester, at 15 Drummond Street.
Worcester.
Very good. I'll begin my investigation right away.
Thank you again, Mr. Fordham. You have no idea how much this means to me.
Well, this case has our names written all over it. Maybe it'll be good practice for finding the man who caused my death, eh? Looks like...
Gut. Ab ins Apartment, Bäckerei, wir gehen zum Silent Raven. Und hier stellen wir fest, dass der Sound nicht läuft.
What a mess. These advertisements are all at least 10 years out of date.
Ich muss sagen, also das Spiel hat sich in eine andere Richtung entwickelt, als ich es zuerst gedacht hatte. Ich dachte zuerst, das ist einfach so 2, 3 Cases. Na gut, sind wir auch gerade so, ne? So ein bisschen Kram und im Nachhinein dabei wird es dann so, dass wir wirklich unseren Mörder suchen, den für unseren persönlichen Fall, wo der den Bill ermordet hat. Und jetzt muss ich feststellen, dass es ganz anders ist. Und dass wir eigentlich ja gar nichts mit unserem Fall so richtig zu tun haben, sondern nur diese Kriminalfälle hier lösen. Und ich erwische mich aber, dass ich das wie bei keinem Adventure in den letzten Wochen und Monaten hatte, dass ich richtig Bock habe, das weiterzuspielen. Und zwar so Bock, dass ich andere Sachen dafür ja, kürzer mache. Also, weiß nicht, zocken mit anderen Kumpels. Aber ich will noch lieber 2 Folgen vom Adventure auf. Oder, was weiß ich, irgendetwas anderes. So, ne? Und es ist wirklich cool. Diese Geschichtsführung, dieses, wie die Rätsel aufgebaut sind, diese Fälle, dass man immer mehr Hinweise sucht und das so zusammenpuzzeln kann. Das ist wirklich einzigartig. Das macht mir wirklich richtig, richtig, richtig Spaß. Ja, meine 2 Cent.
To think, in an instant, a man's life can be reduced to some scribbles on the filthy pavement.
Now's not the time to get poetic, Bill.
Leben ist vergänglich. Aha.
Yesterday's rain has made the water level rise significantly. Is it just me, or does it look like there's something resting at the bottom of the drain?
If there is, I have no way of getting to it through the drain cover.
Securely fastened, unfortunately for you. If only there was some way to undo these bolts and remove the drain cover.
Das kriegen wir bestimmt hin. Das ist richtig Baphomets Fluchstyle jetzt, ja.
It's an ad for whiskey. Or perhaps paint thinner. Sometimes it can be hard to tell the difference. Your mascot seems to be a raven with a glowing red eye. Is that meant to attract customers or to scare them off?
Ja, das weiß ich auch nicht. Würde sowas im echten Leben funktionieren? I don't know. Egal. Rinn. Rinn. Ach, hier, Udo.
This grog shop looks pretty rough, even by chum standards. Let's keep a low profile while you're in here, Miles.
Okay, low profile.
Doesn't look like cleaning up is high on the list of priorities around here.
Aha, ein Messer. Ich kann nicht weitergehen.
Looks like that's where they keep the good stuff. Of course, around here, good is an extremely relative term. They don't seem to have much variety in their beer selection.
Ich finde, das brauchst du auch nicht. In einer guten Bar, also eine hippe Bar, sage ich jetzt mal, da gibt's Cocktails, da gibt's bla, bli, blub, da wird da irgendwie eine essbare Orchidee mit rangeflanscht. Für mich reicht es, wenn das ein gemütlicher Laden ist, mit einer schönen Atmosphäre und da muss der Wirt nur ein Fass Bier anstechen, hast du vielleicht noch eine Sorte Wein oder 2 Sorten Wein, bisschen was zu knabbern, ganz leichte Snacks und dann verkauft sich das alles von selbst. Das ist so wenn ich mal losgehe, das ist so das bevorzugte Lokal, wo ich gerne hingehe. Vielleicht Pizza. Zum Beispiel das ist so eine richtig gute Pizza dazu noch.
Excuse me, barmaid?
Hi, what do you need?
Hey, was willst du? Eieiei, so viele Sachen.
Have you worked here long?
13 years.
I see. Anything else you can tell me about yourself?
I ain't the friendly type.
Right. Understood.
Okay.
Any thoughts on the election?
Nah, couldn't care less, really. Doesn't matter who's in charge. My life ain't getting any better.
Perspektivlosigkeit, Hoffnungslosigkeit.
But it can certainly get worse with Leroy in office.
We'll see.
What can you tell me about this place?
It's a bar. People come here to drink. Sometimes people drink too much, and then they're sick all
Okay.
over.
Zu solchen Bars gehe ich tatsächlich nicht. Ich weiß auch gar nicht, was ich das letzte Mal so viel getrunken habe, dass mir schlecht geworden ist. I don't know.
I get the honor of cleaning up the mess.
Sounds like you're not too pleased with your job.
I never said that. There may be rough days, but there's a lot worse I could be doing. Here, I get a place to sleep and a bit to eat and a few coins in my pocket if the customers are pleased. And you are pleased, ain't you, sir?
Oh, yes. Yes, of course I am.
Good.
Good.
You know a man named Ronan Lespay?
Nah, never heard of him.
He was killed here 4 nights ago. The man in this ferrotype.
Oh, that one. Well, I never saw him before that night, and I didn't talk to him. You with the police or something?
No, not at all. I'm just trying to help his sister find out what happened.
So are you done with the questions? Can I get you a drink or what?
Yeah, she's a shrewd businesswoman. You at least have to give her that.
Were you working on election night?
Pal, I'm here most every night.
So that's a yes, then?
Christ on a cracker, you ain't too bright, are ya? Yes, I was here on election night.
There's no need to be rude about it, madam. Tell me what you know about the murder that took place outside on election night.
Listen, chum, do you know how busy we were that night? This was a polling place. We had gents coming in and out for hours, not to mention the regular clientele. I was up to my ass in drink orders and was running the shift all by myself. Had to break up God knows how many fights, too. So you'll excuse me if I didn't exactly notice something that happened out on the street.
Did you at least hear the gunshot?
No, I didn't. You try distinguishing a gunshot over a room full of rowdy voters. It ain't gonna happen.
You mentioned regular clientele.
Oh, we get plenty of regulars in here, too many to name.
Which of them were here on election night?
Let me think. I remember seeing 3 of the usual crowd. There was Darius, up to no good as always.
Huh?
Then there was Singin' Tom, but he wasn't around for too long.
Uh-huh.
And how could I forget old Cormac? He'd have talked my ear off if I'd let him.
Sound like an interesting bunch of folks.
Okay.
Where might I find the landlord?
You won't find him anywhere. He doesn't come around here more than once a month.
What can you tell me about Darius?
Hey now, bucko. You've come in here asking me all these questions, but I ain't seen nothing from you. You want more information? You're gonna have to earn it.
Aha. What?
Right. Give me a gin, then.
Coming right up.
Don't get carried away now, Miles.
Nimm doch ein Bier. Was weiß ich, das ist doch nicht so schlimm. Aber von Gin, da bist du doch nicht wieder besoffen, da gibt es wieder nur Stress. Und er hat Entzug, da sagt er selber. Ach, das ist doch alles Kacke.
There you are. 1 gin. That'll be 2 shillings.
There's 3. Now then, about Darius.
Now that man is trouble. I've had to throw him out a few times.
Why do you say he's trouble?
His mind's affected by the poppy seed. He can be gentle as a kitten or fly into a rage at a moment's notice. When he gets rowdy, he gets chucked.
I see. Any idea where I might be able to find him?
Don't know why you'd want to find him, but I hear he spends his day at a smokehouse nearby. I believe it's on Crisparkle Lane. Just look for the door with the oriental symbols above it.
And could you describe him to me?
He's a rough-looking sort, about 55 years old, has a scar on his left cheek, grayish hair, medium build.
Excellent. Thank you.
Gut. Singing
Who's
Tom.
Singing Tom?
Ah, Tom. Not sure what his surname is, but he's in here about twice a week.
Hmm?
We call him Singing Tom because he leads the church choir.
Is that right? Which church?
Oh, I haven't a clue. Never really cared to ask.
Does he associate with any of the other regulars?
I've seen him talking with Darius a few times. They seem to be on friendly terms.
Tell me about Cormac.
He's in here most every night. Doesn't speak to many people, just me. And a right chatterbox he is, too. Between you and me, Cormac stinks. I can understand why he doesn't keep much company.
He stinks?
Aye, he's a sewer worker. Spends all his day underground in the muck, so he always reeks of shit.
I see. Any idea where specifically he works?
I believe he's at the treatment station, over near the ferry terminal.
If this is going where I think it is, then I'm especially glad I can't smell anything anymore.
True, true, true. Okay.
I appreciate you taking the time to...
Yeah.
Ups. Entschuldigung. So, dann hauen wir wieder ab. Hauen wir wieder ab. Und haben neue Lokationen. Eine Opiumhöhle. Gehen wir erstmal ins Klärwerk.
So this is what it's come to, eh? Braving the stench of human waste in hopes of finding a lead. Just make sure you stay away from the edge. While you could use a bath, I don't think this is the right place to take a dip. While you... Another mysterious machine. Who knew dealing with human waste involved so much technology?
Na klar, Alter, was meinst du, wenn du das einfach in so eine Ballerei alles kippst? Das ist auch nicht gut. So.
Begging your pardon, sir.
What? Who are you? What are you doing down here?
My name's Miles Fordham, and I'm a private investigator. I'm looking for a sewer worker by the name of Cormac.
We needn't look no further. But what is this about?
I just have a few questions for you.
All right. Cormac will answer them, but don't dally for too long. It can be dangerous down here for anyone who's not trained as Cormac is.
Jemand, der nicht so geübt ist. Er spricht von sich selbst in der dritten Person. Okay. Hier, das ist doch Benedict Cucumber Snatch. Ne, Moment, wie heißt er noch? Cumberbatch, glaube ich, ja, ne? Hier, der Sherlock gespielt hat. Oder, aus dem ganzen Marvel-Film. Doctor Strange. Herrlich.
Is it difficult being a sewer worker?
Difficult? Nah, it's a dream. Especially since they introduced all these steam tech treatments and purification whatsits. The only thing Cormac's got to do is check the little dial never goes into the red on old Belinda.
Belinda?
Aye, the purifier. She's a real special lady who's made Cormac's life so much brighter. Cormac makes sure to thank her each and every day.
Wonderful. We're talking to a lunatic.
Wasn't so easy a few years ago. Back then it was tapping on pipes all day.
Tapping on pipes?
To make sure they was flowing fine and not blocked. Cormac would take his little hammer and tap, tap, tap on the pipes to make sure they was ringing fine. You can imagine what that was like. Tap, tap, tap. Ring, ring, ring. All day, up and down, over and over. The tapping stopped, but the ringing never left. Still.
Ups, Entschuldigung. Ich dachte, er wäre schon fertig.
You know a man named Ronan Lespay?
Cormac knows few men. People don't much like talking to a man who spends his days in the sewers. Can't really blame him for it. It's hard to get a stink off, so why bother even trying?
You didn't answer my question, though. Do you know Ronan Lespay or not?
Could you describe him? Cormac's got a better memory for faces than for names.
I have his portrait. Here, have a look.
Ja.
Ah, yes. Cormac saw this fellow recently.
On election night?
That's right. He come into the bar, voted, went out. Looked drunk to Cormac, but then everyone at that place usually is.
Do you frequent a pub called the Silent Raven?
Yes. The Raven is where Cormac goes to forget about the day's work. The barmaid, Nicole, she's a good sort. We likes talking about the ponies down at the track. Nicky loves her some racing. She gives Cormac drinks for cheap in exchange for odd jobs. Nice to have your own personal sewer man, I suppose. She's really the only one Cormac talks to. There's a few others Cormac sees often, but Cormac hasn't spoken with them.
Cripes. This guy goes on and on, doesn't he? To be fair, you were warned.
Do you have any opinions regarding the election?
Cormac hears lots of things about Atwood, but he's the one what's got this new machinery put into the sewer system. There's still a job for Cormac, so all that talk about being replaced by machines is just talk, for now. But Leroy says he wants to give the workers their fair chance, so Cormac can't argue with that. What about you?
I would have preferred Atwood stay in office myself.
Bah, they's all the same in the end. One way or another. No point worrying, says old Cormac.
What the hell?
Would you be able to remove the cover of a storm drain?
Yes, of course, sir. Cormac's got the right tool for the job.
Geile Synchronstimme übrigens.
Just a few twists from old Mary here, and any drain will open up like a Christmas rose.
Excellent. Would you be able to open the storm drain outside the Silent Raven?
Suppose so, yes. But Cormac ain't allowed to just open up drains as he sees fit. What do you want this drain open for?
Ich stehe voll drauf, meine Hand in Dreckpfützen zu stecken. Ein ganz wichtiger Beweis, dass am Boden des Abflusses ist.
I believe there's a vital piece of evidence at the bottom of the drain.
You don't say.
It's quite true. It may even help me solve a murder.
Well then, in that case, Cormac will get the drain open for you. Come on, there's not a moment to lose.
Ah, okay.
This it then?
That's the one.
Right, won't be a moment.
Die Animation spart man sich.
There we are.
Thank you for your help, Cormac.
Not a problem. Now, if you don't mind, Cormac's just going to pop inside for a quick pint.
Detective work is a dirty job, but someone has to do it. Don't forget to roll up your sleeve.
I really hope there's something down there.
Oh, schön.
Ugh. This is almost as bad as the time I had to search for that stolen necklace in a pile of horse manure.
I'm really glad I didn't draw the short straw in that case. Oh, well, how about that?
A shame the police managed to overlook this.
Das war's.
Nothing else down.
Da.
Moment of your time.
Right.
Über Mord wollen wir noch reden mit
Do you
ihm.
know anything about the murder that took place outside here on election night?
Murder? Ah, yes. The commotion out in the alleyway.
That's right. Did you see or hear anything?
It was a touch noisy that night, what with all the election stuff happening, but Cormac remembers the sound of the gun. One shot, and then shouting and hollering from the bar.
Aha, er hat das mitbekommen, als geschossen worden ist, und er hat das auch gehört und dass die Leute rausgerannt sind, und das Mädel hat gesagt, sie hat das nicht gehört.
A few people run outside to look at what happened, but Cormac just stayed in his seat and finished his whiskey.
So you didn't see the man who was shot, or who shot him?
No, keeps to himself, Cormac does. Makes life easier that way.
Warum ist das so laut?
Could he be any more unhelpful? Actually, it's probably best not to find.
Thanks for your time.
Es ist wirklich störend.
She...
Okay. Gut. Bäckerei. Opium. Mhm.
I wonder how many layers of advertisements you'd have to cut through before getting to the wall. I can't make heads or tails of it, but I'll bet you 10 crowns it doesn't say welcome.
Yes? What do you want?
Bier passt. Ich suche einen Mann, der Darius heißt.
I'm looking for a man named Darius. I believe he may be inside.
Yeah, I don't know anybody with that name. So if that's all you wanted, get lost.
Might I come in, please?
This is private property, and I don't know you, so no.
My name is Miles Fordham, and I'm a private investigator. I demand you let me in the name of the law.
Ist dann bestimmt erschossen durch die geschlossene Tür.
The law? Is this your idea of a joke?
No, as I said, I'm a private investigator.
Then I really don't have to let you in. You've bothered me enough. Get out of here!
Something tells me we won't be getting in there anytime soon.
Ron!
All right, Mr. Chavez. The cake and muffins come to a total of 3 shillings, 10 coppers.
There you are, Mrs. Morgan. And thank you again. Barbara is going to love this.
My pleasure. Enjoy.
Tschüss, Ronald. Grüß
Pardon me,
Hermine.
sir.
I'm sure Barbara will enjoy them, the cow.
So rund wie sie ist, wird Barbara sicher daran Spaß haben.
Oh, Mr. Fordham. Well,
Thank you, Mrs. Morgan.
The stuff in that day-old box doesn't look half bad. More like 3/4 bad. A bunch of assorted baking products. Don't waste your time with those, Miles. We got a murder to solve.
Ja, ja,
Those look
Entschuldigung.
nice, but given the choice, I'll always side with pie over cake.
Ja, würde ich auch machen. Tatsächlich. Und eine vernünftige Bratwurst über beides.
I never had much of a sweet tooth, but even I'd consider buying some of this stuff. Minor detail, I know.
Have you got time for a few more questions, Mrs. Morgan?
yes, of course.
What can you tell me about your brother?
Ronan was the best brother anyone could have asked for. He took care of me after our parents died. Carriage accident. I was only 9 and he was 13. Ronan went out and found work and managed to support the both of us. He was just a child himself, but he kept us out of the gutter. Or worse, the workhouse.
How did you hear of his death?
Ronan comes by to visit me every day after he finishes work. When he didn't come for 2 days in a row, I got worried. I went to his apartment, but he wasn't there. So I made a report to the police. Yesterday, they contacted me and asked me to come to the mortuary.
Guck mal, es hat sogar Tränen im Augen.
I'm terribly sorry for your loss, Mrs. Morgan.
Thank you, Mr. Fordham. Please, find whoever did this to him. Ronan deserved so much better.
So, this is your bakery.
My husband Gerald and I have had it for almost 10 years.
Is it just the two of you? Do you have any children?
Alas, no. Some extra hands would be most welcome in the kitchen, but we haven't yet been blessed. It's such a shame that Ronan never got to be an uncle.
What are your thoughts on the outcome of the election?
Oh, I haven't given it much thought, to be honest. It hardly...
Boah, shit, da habe ich mich verdrückt. Entschuldigung.
Can you give me the address of Ronan's apartment?
It's at 1172 Bushmill Street. I have a spare key.
That would be most helpful. Thank you. What sort of life did Ronan lead?
You know, just normal.
A normal life.
He'd go to work, come visit me afterwards, and go home. He didn't have much of a social life. At least he never mentioned any friends to me. I always hoped Ronan would meet a nice girl to settle down with, but he was so shy, you know.
Where did Ronan work?
At the Grips Home Taxidermy Shop in Gascone.
Ah.
I always thought it was rather macabre work, but a bit lonely though.
Aha, der nächste Hinweis.
What do you know about your brother's murder?
Only what the police told me. He was shot at close range outside that pub in the Chum. Nothing was missing, and his wallet had money in it, so they said it wasn't a robbery. I didn't recognize the clothes he was wearing. I had never seen them before, and they were far too big for him. I still can't believe he's gone. He was the only family I had left.
Dr. Edwards at the mortuary might be able to give us some more detailed information. The only thing we'll get out of this one is more tears.
Können wir sie auch in Ruhe lassen, ne?
Those are all the questions I have for now.
All right, Mr. Fordham.
Okay, wunderbar. Dann würde ich sagen, ist die Zeit auch wieder rum. Und ich wünsche euch einen schönen Abend. Macht es gut, bis zum nächsten Mal. Ciao.